Hey Ciara, it's Dr. Scott. Hey, I have some feedback for you on your literature review. You gave me fair warning. It's a draft. I read it as such. It seems like there's an issue about finding sources, maybe, and so I'm going to give you a little bit of help there, and then I'll also kind of talk about how you've set up your lit review. I think maybe the headings that you have, or maybe the purpose that you set out in your different sections in your lit review, maybe you're doing something different. Which isn't altogether wrong. I think maybe some clarity about what it is you're trying to do in your lit review might be helpful. Over in the side here, I will have some comments, and I'll send this document to you. And the comments may not make much sense, but you kind of need to listen to the the screencast to make sense of it. Okay. There was a section in your lit review that I didn't see that I think is pretty important for your project, and that is the value of news media. I think maybe you hint at it later on in a section, but it doesn't seem to be something that you've actually kind of done research on. I don't know. It depends on where your project's at this point, like where your purpose statement kind of settled. I think the value news media thing might be the significance issue, like why this is important overall. But I thought it was something that it seemed like something that you needed to kind of research, like, why is the fourth estate important? There were places where I didn't know where your information was coming from. So like these 3 points that you make here, these seem pretty detailed. And I didn't know or these 3 reasons, I didn't know where that was coming from, if that was Carson or some other source, or if this was just kind of your thoughts about fake news and its audiences. I thought that this section, it only has one source, which is a bit dodgy. You don't want to be dodgy. You need more sources. So I did want to help you out with that. So here we go. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to change screens. It's going to be abrupt, but all will be well. Hold on. All right, so I'm at the library homepage here. Through the magic of the interwebs. All right, so A to Z list of research databases. I think finding the right database, and there's one specifically that I think is kind of perfect for your kind of project and your lit review. So A to Z list of research databases, go to C. Communication and mass media complete. Oh yeah, that's where it's all going to be at. Not all. That's where it's significant. You'll find some sources here. Fake news. We can just start there. And then, boom. So these are people that are looking at in the field of communication, in journalism, mass communication. I think you're going to find some good sources here with this. So use that. I think that section where you have just one source is not going to help you out. I mean, it gives you one. It sounds like this Carson guy knows what he's talking about. It sounds like he's providing some information, but a review is like an overview of the literature on this phenomena, and it needs to be more than one source. So that's one issue, finding more sources. The other issue is what is the purpose of this? Like, are you really kind of defining it? Is this kind of like a history section about fake news? For me, I didn't see you really kind of defining fake news. I think you did it really early on up here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is you're doing more than that, right? Like, you do this really early, but then what's the rest? So I think make it clear what it is you're doing. All right. I also thought that this section here really wasn't, like, I don't think these titles are really kind of doing a good job of explaining what your sections are doing. I think that for me, it felt like this was a paragraph that was about like the political impact of fake news, or this is a section that talks about the significance of this problem, like why is fake news a phenomenon that we should care about now. It seems like that's what this section is trying to do. So I think you're kind of short-selling yourself here. Also, I think, again, and this may change. Like, you're going to find more sources. Right now you have like maybe like 3, 4, 5 sources. You're going to find more sources, and you might find that, yeah, you know what, like the significance of the problem or the impact of fake news, that may not be where you want to go. The result of this is, like, giving us a review that helps set up your study. It's not just about reviewing fake news totally. It's about giving us information that kind of sets up your study. So there might be things that it might be important about, it might be interesting about fake news, but if it's not kind of setting up your project, you want to cut it. Okay. All right. Enough soapbox on that one. All right. Combating the problem and the gap. I think this is awesome. I think this is an important. So I think that this might be your values section. It wasn't clear to me. Again, the section headings and kind of how you're framing your sections and how you're framing your literature review, that needs a little bit more thought. But I also think you just kind of need to do more research in order to do that. I did think that there was one other database that could be helpful in doing it, and because you're specifically looking at students, this database I think could be particularly useful. So give me one more second and I'll see you back at the library. Okay, here we are again. So A to Z list of research databases. You go to E and we go to education. I think Eric. Yep, here it is. Eric. I use the EBSCO interface. You can use the public access one, but media literacy education versus bogus news. There's a few different things you can look for. You probably know this, having done a lot of literary research, but you wouldn't use the Web of Science to help you with a paper, in British literature. So choosing the right database really kind of matters. So I hope that I've given you a way to take a look at the media in conversations about fake news through the Communication Mass Media Complete. We're talking about education. Eric is usually a pretty good one. Information literacy, it looks like they might be critical of it. That's also 1991, so that's way, yeah. It doesn't look like that search yielded much, but Eric is usually pretty good. Let me see if there's some other databases here. So we go up here to the Education Discovery Service, Education Source. I think these Education Full Text, I think this could be, let's do information literacy. Let's actually spell information literacy. Here we go. All right, this might get you something. I don't know if this is gonna work. Wait, we got some. Booyah! All right, so more sources. That's really kind of where you're at right now, and you got a draft. You got a skeleton. I'm trying to tweak that skeleton a little bit to make it allow you to do some other things, but I think that's really kind of where you're at right now. You need to do more research, you need to rethink your categories, and always use as your North Star the project that you're working on. So make sure that the literature that you talk about in the lit review is literature that's informing your project. Okay, I think that's it. If you have questions, if you want to chat about this, I'm happy to do that. Yeah, that's it for now. Happy researching. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help out. All right, that's it for now. Talk to you soon.